I've been visiting so many interesting and exciting locations all over the world that make up the LEGO Group. Today, that all-access passport that they gave us is going to take us, well, here, right here, to the home of the brick, Denmark, where we'll find out what life, play, and work is like behind the bricks. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Live Behind the Bricks. I'm Jake Blaze. I'm the creative lead for Learning Through Play here at the LEGO Group, and this time, live from sunny Billund, Denmark. I'm super excited to see so many of you online for today's session. I know that some of you are going to be watching this as a replay, so a warm welcome wherever and whenever you're tuning in. Today, we are meeting actual LEGO colleagues from both our Billund and Copenhagen hubs to find out what it is that they do, how do they do it, and how they apply play to their everyday work. But not all the questions are coming from me. You can ask questions at any time. Please drop them in the Q&A function. There's a little box with a question mark over to the right of the screen. And my amazing producers backstage will send those over to me. If we don't get to it in the call, don't worry. We'll try to answer any questions we can after the session. So let's get started. Through the magic of modern podcasting technology, my amazing LEGO colleagues will now join the screen in 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Fantastic. It worked. All right. I'd love it if we just take a round of introductions. When we do the introductions, just say, tell us who you are. What is your function at the LEGO Group? And if you're not from Denmark, or even if you are from Denmark, tell us where you did come from. Those of you who are watching from home or the office, your laptop, wherever you are, on the bus, I don't know, just type into the chat and let us know where you're tuning in from. All right, let's kick it off with Carol.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carol. I'm the Featureology Manager in the Creative Play Lab of the LEGO Group. So I'm originally from Hong Kong. So next year would be my 10th years actually working in Denmark for LEGO Group.
Wow, 10 years in Denmark. Fantastic.
Awesome.
And we'll kick it off above you. I see Steen.
Hi, I'm Steen Willumsen. I'm a people lead for an amazing bunch of model designers. Also here in Billund, originally from Denmark, so stuck around for this as well.
Great. Do you want to hand it off?
Yes, I would love to hear from Vinny.
Hi, everyone. My name is Vinny. I am heading up the team that takes care of the benefits and the well-being initiatives for our Northern Europe region, where Billund and Copenhagen obviously are the biggest ones here with our headquarters. And I am from Denmark and have lived here most of my life.
Cool. Thanks. Will we hand it off, Vinny?
Yes, let's hear from Johannes.
My name is Johannes, and I'm currently in the new Copenhagen office. I'm an engineering lead for our digital technology infrastructure team.
Fantastic. So when you say new Copenhagen office, you mean the new Copenhagen office?
The new or the new, yeah, this is, I would say we have a new office, and then we have a new office coming up, but this is just the new office. So the newest office, so to say.
Cool. We'll get to that, to those details in a minute, but now Roxana.
Welcome to Billund. I'm Roxana. I'm International Employee Experience Consultant here at the LEGO Group in our Billund headquarters. I've been in this role for almost 3 years now, and I'm originally from Romania, but have lived in Denmark for almost 11 years now. So yeah, almost a day.
Fantastic. So nice to meet you all. Some of you I've met before. For those of you who haven't met, really nice to meet you. And thank you for joining us today. I see a lot of people coming from all over the world on the chat. I don't know if you're following. I saw people from Santa Barbara, California, Switzerland, London, all over the world. So it's really interesting. I think there's a lot of curiosity in what goes on behind the bricks here in Denmark. So just to kick it off a little bit, I would want to talk about the different locations that we have. So here in Billund, we have our home campus. How many of us are working out of Billund? And so there's just one of us working in Copenhagen. Johannes, tell us about Copenhagen. What's the office structure like? Is it as big as we have here in Billund, or how does that work?
Well, not quite yet. Of course, Billund is the mothership still in Denmark, but some years ago we had a great opportunity to build an office in Copenhagen. We didn't have an office in Copenhagen until 3 years ago. We had some amazing Lego stores, of course, but not an office. And as our digital technology organization grew with the digital transformation in Lego, it was an opportunity to be able to also have a representation in Copenhagen. And this office is currently housing 250 employees in the center of Copenhagen near Kongens Nytorv, which is very central. But we're outgrowing that office. So actually right now I'm sitting in our even newer, brand new office, also in the middle of Copenhagen, where we currently are around 150 employees, but have room for some more.
And so the next iteration of the office will be not quite in the center of Copenhagen, right? It's a little bit away. Is it in? Can you tell us about where that is?
Yeah, so I guess you're referring to our upcoming hub, Copenhagen hub, which has been announced some months ago, and of course we're immensely excited for that. And this is also going to be smack in the middle of Copenhagen, next to the main central station, and will probably be housing around 1,500 to 2,000 colleagues.
Wow! So a lot of growth, even in here in Denmark. Here in Billund, we have a lot of different buildings, and actually, I think, are we all in different buildings? I'm here in campus, which is our kind of flagship building. Vinny, Steen, Roxana, Carol, where are you located?
I'm in Innovation House, which is part of what we call the campus area of Billund, right, with all these adjacent buildings. Innovation House.
I'm in a walking distance to both you, Jake, and Steen. I'm in the project house, where we have like a dedicated building for just the innovation unit.
Yeah.
And I'm located at campus together with you, Jake, and I think Vinny as well.
Vinny, yes, I saw you upstairs, Vinny.
I have had a chance to work in many different buildings across the 14 years with the Lego Group. So yeah, there is many different buildings and houses and office spaces for sure.
That's one of the things that sort of keeps it interesting as we're kind of growing and moving. The locations are changing. You get an opportunity to work in different parts of the business. You get an opportunity to work in different locations. Let's talk a little bit about our journeys over the past few years. What parts of the business have you been working in? How is it different from where you're working now? Who wants to kick it off?
I can go then. My Lego story starts actually 10 years ago officially, but it's probably more in the vicinity of 15 or 20 as an adult Lego fan as well. But roughly 10 years ago, I got to join the Lego Group as part of our internal marketing agency. So right smack in the middle of our big marketing organization. I got the opportunity to head up our digital asset management team, which felt very much like being the IT team in the midst of this very graphic production and very innovative communication machine. After a 5-year stint there, I was seduced to what we call digital technology, so our IT area, where I've been coaching and heading up a group of coaches as their people leader as well for roughly 5 years. And 6 months back, I got to join our model design area, which is a third part of our organization, where naturally the focus is turning something like this into something like this. So 10 years, they flew by extremely fast.
Fantastic. I noticed you have some fun props there. Can you tell us about that, Steen?
Yeah, sure. So this is actually the microphone, and the thing under it is actually a passion project, which I get to do on the side of my job as people leader. So we have a monthly day here in this area, at least, where we get to tend to our passion project. So if there's something we want to dive deep into, it could be picking up some learning or training, honing a new skill, or practicing what we do, which is very much on design and building models here. So this is a pet project of mine that found its footing in one of those Fabulab days, as they're called. Yeah, cheers.
Cheers. Oh, thanks, Steen. Roxana, do you want to take it next?
I think for me, the journey has not been so long. It's been 3 years since I've joined, and I've joined in my current role, so it hasn't been so much change so far. And I'm proudly representing PPC, that stands for People, Places, and Culture Department. It's actually our HR department. That's how we call it here at the Lego Group. And I am part of the bigger rewards team, the rewards and benefits for our colleagues. And my role basically means that I need to ensure that our growing community of international colleagues based here in Denmark have a smooth integration, both inside the Lego ecosystem, so at work, but also outside work. So make sure that they feel well integrated while in Denmark, and they can be their best working selves at work. That's my role, and I'm really enjoying it.
That's interesting, Roxana. What is the difference between how many people would you say, not to put you on the spot, but roughly would you say, what's the ratio between Danish people who are working at the Lego Group and internationals here in Denmark?
So let me just give you some high-level data. We are right now in Billund close to 6,000 colleagues, and 30% of these colleagues are actually coming from different countries all over the world. And what is unique about this location, our headquarters, is that we have an immense cultural diversity represented here. It's now 92 nationalities represented at the Lego Group in Denmark. And by Denmark, I mean both Billund and Copenhagen. That's amazing. And the vibe you see around our offices, not only at Lego campus, but for example, where Steen is in Innovation House, it's an amazing cultural diversity there too, where this is the house of our Lego designers, and they are coming from all over the world. And I would say I will highlight that as one of our unique traits when it comes to this location.
Yeah, that is a fantastic resource that we have in Denmark, to have so many different people. I want to get to the details of that in a minute, but let's hear everybody else's kind of journey story. Carol, would you take it next?
Yeah, I think I echo a lot with Steen. Like, we started almost a similar, I think, time for the Lego Group, and it has been so different since then. You see, there's a lot of growth in diversity. There's a lot of growth in also the position we have home in Denmark as well. I don't think my job would exist like 3 or 5 years ago. I joined the Lego Group 10 years ago because I was a designer, and I'm like really into digital and physical design joining together as interaction. And I thought my job at that time was like coming to Denmark, look for the next new box on toy design for the Lego, and it will be on shelf for the kids in the next few years. But now, after 10 years, like, I see how we evolve in the way we innovate new products, how we understand trying to get close to the kids and families around different parts of the world as well. So I really enjoy this like growth of complexity and also like collaboration happening in different parts of the company. And my role kind of evolved and changed quite a little bit in between the 10 years. I can shift easily from a designer, play designer, to actually a design researcher, where to get closer to the kids and travel to different parts of the world, talk to the kids, evaluate how they play and learn. Now I'm looking into like, what is the new trends, what's shaping the next generations of play for the families and kids. So I think there's a lot of diverse opportunity within our Denmark location as well.
You have a super amazing job title, and the title of your group is also a huge tease. I wonder if you just tell us what's your title?
Yeah, I'm the futurology manager. What it does is actually to try to empower adults, especially us, to kind of really play with the idea of unknown futures. We explore what's uncertain, but for a better purpose. Like, how do we keep the kids and builders of tomorrow learn through play, right? So this is a very fancy title, but it's like tells core that we in the Lego Group, we not only wants to like launch the next product tomorrow, but we also look forward, like what's the next 10 years, 5 years time, how our play can help kids around the world.
Oh, it's so fantastic. I want to hear so much more about that. And I also want to hear about what is the organization, part of the organization that you work in, the Creative Play Lab. Well, hopefully you can share a little bit of detail, not too much, because of course it's probably top secret stuff. But let's move on to Johannes and hear his journey.
Yeah, so like many of my colleagues in the digital technology organization, I haven't been that long in Lego, a year now, and it's strange because it seems
joiner.
like it.
I love it.
Thank you. I remember I had a manager telling me that don't worry, it'll take 10 years before you're probably onboarded, and that was like, oh, thank God. But at the same time, it feels like it's gone by in a day, and at the other time it seems like it's been a while because the pace is moving so fast in the digital technology organization. It's a somewhat new organization, and we're expanding, we're growing, and we're building a lot of cool foundations and things to support the business. So it's an amazing place to be, and it feels like you're part of a very large startup in some sense, right? Because there's this sense and feeling of empowerment and really being able to work with the coolest things and gadgets, but at the same time being part of a mature and well-functioning ecosystem and organizational ecosystem. So it's really a unique blend of being exactly in the sweet spot of where you want to be when you're a developer or a digital worker.
That's fantastic to hear. Looking forward to hear more details about our digital team. Let's move on to Vinny and hear about her journey a bit first.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned before, I've joined the company 14 years ago and a little more actually. My entire career here has been within the space of people and culture. For simplicity, let me just call it people and culture. Back in the days, it was called HR, human resources. I think it has had many names as it has evolved as well. But it's been a space I've navigated in, but I've actually had the opportunity to have many different roles across the years. I think counting this might be my 8th role or 9th role, just starting actually this new role only a month ago. I've done everything from being a learning and development specialist in manufacturing, where I kicked off my career here. Had many years as a people and culture partner for different business areas. I've been a people leader for our talent acquisition and learning and development space. I've just recently had a chance to actually move to one of our other entities and did a 1-year project with Lego House, which is truly the home of the brick, where I worked on diversity and inclusion and lifting that agenda in that space, and then just came back for this new role as head of benefit and well-being for the region. So really a lot of different career opportunities across the years. So I keep on onboarding myself, it feels like, actually, as you mentioned, Johannes.
Even amazing. And then also in the right part of the business now, then, if you're so into the onboarding, right?
100%, yes.
There's a question that came up, and I think it ties in really nicely to what I'm seeing and where we are in our different locations. Can we talk a bit about what types of working conditions we have in terms of, are you working remotely? Are you in the office every day? How does that work here? Maybe, Vinny, you can start us off.
Yeah, absolutely. So we work under the principles that we call best of both. So for those who hold a role where it's possible to do your work from home, we are able to navigate within this balance of best of both, which for us is really to be in the office 3 days a week and with the possibility to then work from home 2 days a week. So we kind of get exactly the best of both, being able to work closely with your colleagues, be here, sense the culture, collaborate closely face-to-face with your colleagues, but as well get the chance to balance things out at home, having some focus time maybe, have a shorter commute some days, etc. And that's something I do, and I really enjoy it to have that opportunity.
Great. And Carol, you said you were in Project House. Are you really in Project House?
Not today, each day. Obviously, I'm at home with my little cat sleeping beside me. Yeah, in I think it's interesting for us. Creative Play Lab, we actually, I think, is the first department, almost like the few of the first department that have different global hubs. We have hubs in Boston, Singapore, LA, and London. So we're quite used to like remote working even before the COVID hit us. So there's been like habit or work process set up to enable us to actually be very flexible to where we work, how we work, as long as we can collaborate together very effectively, efficiently. So I think we follow, of course, the same principles of like we need human contacts and we want to like work with people in person, but we do have a choice to kind of have 2 days a week to stay at home and keep focusing on the tasks we need to do.
Yeah, and that is a fantastic benefit. Roxanne, I noticed there's a bunch of questions in the chat about coming in the Q&A, coming into work here in Denmark. If I want to work in Billund, or if I want to work in Copenhagen, how do I go about that? What do I need to do to prepare myself? And how much Danish do I need to learn, for example?
I'll start with the final question related to Danish. You don't need to know Danish to apply for a job at the Lego Group. Our corporate language is English. The whole recruitment process takes place in English, so you don't have to worry about that. Danish is not a must-have in order for you to apply for a job at the Lego Group. I would say it's a nice to have, but maybe later on, after you land safely, after you make sure you and your company family members are okay, you can then take your time to start learning Danish, which I would totally recommend. But you don't have to know Danish before applying for a job at the Lego Group. When it comes to joining the team, if you are living on a different location, if you're not in Denmark, you are, of course, open to apply to any position. And throughout the recruitment process, our colleagues from the recruitment team would let you know what are the guiding resources for you pre-arrival, what are the useful links, what are the main resources you can deep dive into to make yourself prepared for what life in Denmark look like. If it's feasible for you to move along with your family, what I would recommend, it's a lot of research before. Denmark, it's a unique country, like any other country, I would say. But I would, as a heads up, I would say that Denmark, it's ranked among expats as one of the best countries to when it comes to work-life balance. But on the other side, it's also ranked on the lower positions of the rankings by expats when it comes to connecting at deeper levels with locals. So that social networking, it might not be the easiest way to make happen here in Denmark. Some of our colleagues who are coming here accompanied by their partners or spouses, some of them find it difficult for the spouse to land a job in Denmark right away. So I would give this information as heads up. Of course, it's not the case for everybody. We are all individuals. We take these challenges differently, but there are recent surveys showing that this is the data, relevant data, when you need to consider before moving to Denmark.
So you're often looking into that kind of data, and how is the PPC team when they're coming up with benefits and that sort of, how are they sort of addressing those needs when internationals are coming out? Is there a support function for that, or how does that work? And maybe also you could tell us a little bit, is it different in Billund versus Copenhagen?
I think Lego was one of the, if not the only one in Denmark right now, companies who was brave enough to open up a position like my role in here, focusing on supporting a growing community of internationals. So I work directly in being connected with all our colleagues, starting from recruitment, global mobility, other internal stakeholders within talent, and PPC in general, people, places, and culture in general, to make sure that we connect the dots, that we share the relevant information in each phase of the journey for our candidates, new colleagues, onboarded colleagues, and so on. So making sure that we have the relevant resources for them prior to arrival and after arrival. For that, we developed all sorts of guides and information that it's relevant for them and for their accompanying family members as well, because that's key when relocating into a new country. It's not only the Lego employee or the candidate that it's considering moving, it's the whole family in some cases that needs to consider that. And we have that in mind. And we some of the initiatives we have is one of them, it's providing a welcome body. It's a volunteer, a Lego colleague that volunteers to support onboarding, to give a warm welcome to one of our new international colleagues. We are ensuring that our colleagues who are interested in learning Danish can take classes in the office, both in Billund and in Copenhagen. We have language cafes as of course, as an optional possibility for those who want to deep dive into that. So there are several resources they can benefit from as internationals after moving and before moving, of course.
Fantastic. And I'll just also call out People House, for example. I know that happens to exist just here in our campus office, but I know that it is planned to have some other similar ones in other locations, that we have a place for not just our Lego employees, but also the families of our Lego employees to come and be supported and experience some of the benefits of our workplace. I want to just move on a little bit here now to, there's a lot of questions about design and what is it, how do I become a designer? We have a question actually from a 7-year-old on here. Like, how can I become a Lego designer? And Steen, I'm looking at you working in the design team. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about the education of our colleagues who are working in design. Where are they coming from? Is there a specific path that I need to follow? And after that, I just throw it over to Johannes, because there's also some similar questions around digital. How do I get into the digital part of the organization? What should I be studying? That sort of thing. So Steen, if you just kick it off for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to. So when it comes to design, a lot of people outside the company thinks of, well, design, that's about designing Lego models, right? But there's actually a lot of flavors of design going on in several parts of our organization. So where I sit, we have element designers, so people who designs the actual elements, right? So new elements and so on. We have graphic designers, and we have model designers, and we have concept designers. And we do see colleagues joining with a very broad background. If I were to put model designers into sort of two main categories, it would be people coming in with a formal background in something like industrial design or something in the vicinity of that. But we do also have adult fans coming in and securing a position as a model designer. The roles themselves, they are being put up online. So check out Lego Jobs online. We post a lot of new roles there as soon as they arise. The hiring process can be typically one of two flavors. One of them would be like I would say, recognizable process in terms of applying for a position, going through several interviews, sharing your portfolio, and so on. But sometimes we do also have recruitment workshops where you apply for a position in the workshop, and we invite you to Billund for a couple of days to show off your talent, to collaborate with other designers, so on and so forth. And so that's a way in as well when it comes to design.
And what about people who started somewhere else in the organization?
That's definitely an option too. So we do a lot of internal flows. I think that speaks for the entire organization, but also in design, definitely. Where the official recommendation is that you get some experience in the role that you're in for at least 18 months. So Johannes, hang in there before you consider what we call an internal flow, right? And that is actually, so I can speak on because I'm a people leader, right? So I have people reporting directly to me, and it is stated in my role description that I am expected to actively support the people within my care to try out different options if they feel like it. So yeah, that's
unique to the Lego group, I think, or maybe it's a new thing. I never experienced it in other locations, but it's split up so that you, for example, as a people leader, are leading a team of designers, but not necessarily as their creative partner. Or is that correct?
That's correct. That's a different kind of setup we have here in design, where the creative lead is their, well, creative leader, right? So these are the people who sort of hit the tone of what are we trying to do within Lego City, within Ninjago, something like that. Where I'm as a people lead, I'm more of a general support to the employee, supporting their development and learning and training journey, basically removing any obstacles on their way. I don't want to sound cliche-like, but if I were to put it on a T-shirt, I would say the most important thing in my job is to unleash everyone's potential.
Right, and you made a point about AFOLs coming in, and Johannes, I also want to get to you about the digital team. Is there a path into digital from adult fans, for example, or maybe I grew up in a different with a different background, not necessarily program or something. Can I come into the digital team?
Of course you can. And I mean, digital technology is about supporting our customers and our colleagues and our partners and build a lot of awesome things. So we build infrastructure, apps and games and web pages and artificial intelligence and a lot of stuff, and of course we need a strong foundation of technology, and we need to support a wide area of products. So that means we need a lot of broad backgrounds: software engineers, front end, back end, infrastructure engineers, data scientists, designers, and so on and so on. So I think we're lucky that we have such a broad value chain to support in digital technology, that we actually need all kinds of skills. And I think, like Steen mentioned, is that in the DT, everyone is an engineer. You're not locked into a specific tool set. We also have a focus on flow and broadening your profile. And I also think this goes towards the emphasis on recruitment, that it might not necessarily be exactly the skill set for the job you're applying. It's more about your aptitude and the mindset you bring around learning, because that's really an opportunity you have in digital technology. Because that boosts your creativity and that boosts your aptitude for solving new ideas as you move from different problems, between different problems.
Yeah. Do you tend to see a lot of people coming into the digital team as interns?
I've been here for a year, so I don't have the numbers, but I've seen it a few times, that's for sure. We have student workers, quite a few of them, and we have a pretty solid program, Roxana can help me here perhaps, called Early Careers, that is really helpful for empowering this flow from student worker into a normal position in a more formalized manner. I can mention one example Jake. I can mention one example from our own team. We have an amazing student worker, and she's actually writing her master thesis in generative AI in our product in a collaboration with the University of Copenhagen. So there's also opportunities for combining your interest in working as a student worker with your academic endeavors in the Lego group, which I think is pretty cool.
Vinny or Roxana, maybe you could just follow up on that. Just a little bit more on the intern program. Do I need to be a Danish student, a student at a Danish university, to come in to an intern program here in Denmark? How does it work exactly?
I'm not maybe not the right person to answer, but I know that there are, depending on the area and the organization, for example, in Lego design, there are internships for students studying abroad. So you don't have to be a student in Denmark specifically for Lego design. There might be other areas in Lego that accept students studying abroad they are coming in Denmark for 6 months, 12 months, depending on the requirement from their study or from the requirement from the Lego group. But this is a possibility, and I know for sure in Lego design that is an option.
We have an ongoing cadence of intern programs going on. So typically twice a year, we rotate a group of highly valuable and highly inspirational interns. It's really a treat.
Those interns that come in, I would just want to focus specifically on the design program for a second. The interns that come into that design program, are they always coming from a school or a student internship, or are they sometimes coming from, another career?
I don't know.
Okay.
To be honest.
Perfect. That's perfectly fine. We'll have to find that out and get to one of those questions. Carol.
Maybe Carol knows, actually.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, I'm starting as a student intern, like before I got a job in Denmark. So
okay.
I was in the master degree when I studied interaction design in Sweden. And then one day in the school that we realized there's interning opportunities for design in Denmark. So I, without knowing a lot, like whether the company accepts a student from abroad, I do apply for that. And I do end up like half a year interning program here in Billund. And that's where I start to get to know how innovation work in the company. And lately, after like 1 or 2 years later, I land on a job, permanent position in Billund. So I've been one of the like Billund workshop tests in the recruitment you've mentioned, Steen. It was super exciting.
Let's talk a bit about the qualifications. So you were a student working in a capacity that ultimately you got an internship in. But what types of qualifications are we looking for in general, Vinny? I mean, do I need to have an advanced degree before I want to apply to a role at the Lego Group, or can you tell us a little bit about the types of applicants that we look at?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's very hard to come with a simple answer to that because, like, first of all, as you can hear from the intern conversation here and the focus we have on student workers, like, it's a huge source for us as a company that we are able to engage and involve people while they are still early in their careers and maybe only having an academic approach to a functional area. And that is just the beginning of a career, and then you can join the Lego Group at any time of your work life, right? So the qualifications you might come with is also so different because in Denmark as a location, we have everything from the technicians and the operators in our molding factories to plastic maker, tool makers, so many engineers with very, very specific also fields of specialism. We have digital resources, we have finance, we have procurement. So the qualifications are so broad. I think what could be interesting to maybe talk about as a more generic thing is, what is it that we look for in the candidates in terms of what should you always kind of, what do we like to see people being composed of? And I think that ability to learn and grow with us as a company is like key spotlight as a qualification, as I see it, as more relevant to speak to, because it goes super difficult on the different functional areas because there's just so many, right? So I think I would tee that up for maybe a more a stronger input to take away from the conversation on what we would be looking for.
It's interesting. You sort of mentioned some soft skills in there. Are there other soft skills? Well, maybe I ask all of you, what would you be looking for soft skills wise in your ideal colleague or employee?
I can take an initial step, right? So second Vinny's point in, we are definitely looking for a cultural fit. And to me, in the area I represent here, at least, something like the willingness to experiment and fail, continuously be curious around feedback and adapt to that. The ability to play, to just go explore. So not everything comes with a building instruction to begin with, right? Mm-hmm. So being able to find your own way And I would say also a big advice from me would be to bring your true self, right? So one thing is that you have a formal education potentially or are working on it, but we are interested in you and that special magic that you bring as an individual as well. So please be true to that as well.
A fantastic answer. Someone else wanted to jump in there, I could see.
Yeah, sorry, Rosanna. Please go.
I can maybe emphasize curiosity, be genuinely curious, and collaboration. That are, I think it's very important nowadays, because Lego it's a large organization. So in order to perform, you need to have a good knowledge of the whole organization to understand your stakeholders, both internal and external, if that's the case. So collaboration, it's a key word in my opinion.
Yeah. And I'll second, like, the curiosity plus the open mindset that we all carried when we come to the job, because as we kind of talked about, there's a lot of growth and learnings we need to do once we landed on the job in the Lego group as well. So you will be seeing a lot of different colleagues from different backgrounds and culture, and if we want to collaborate together, we do have to have those like really open mindset and be aware of the biases and culture that we carry through from our background as well.
Yeah, we have just a few minutes left, so there's a couple of last minute things. I'm going to kind of do a little bit of rapid fire questions on some of these, and please just jump into some of it. First off, I want to hear, because we're talking still about soft skills now, I heard a lot about collaboration and teamwork and that sort of thing. What about creativity and imagination, and what does that mean to you? Anyone, go. I know you're prepared.
Okay, I'll take a stab at it then. So creativity to me is very close to exploring, right? So keep on being curious and, try things out. Yes, stay curious. And
curiosity, exploration. Johannes, a lot of exploration in your work. Can you tell us maybe what
creativity, and sometimes we use that old trope that the IT we're doing in the Lego group is really just building Legos, right? Because all our components in the digital technology are really just bricks that can be combined in many, many ways. So having that curiosity and being creative really means building great new stuff. And we have those tools. We have those building bricks. So it's just all about going out to your colleagues, seeing what are they working on, what do we have that I might be able to incorporate in my build, and then building new stuff. I think
so
that's completely right.
Interactions as Lego.
Yes.
And bringing those together, that's a creativity. Yeah. Vinny, Roxana, do you want to jump in on creativity?
For me, I think it's finding new ways. Be brave to start something that hasn't been done before, with the risk, of course, of failing, but it comes with learning. Every failure makes learning, actually. So that's my take on creativity.
That's a great one. Learning from our opportunities for learning, right, out of those failures. Vinny, do you have a take?
100%. If I should add anything, I would see being bold, like being brave. And I think it connects with the imagination as well, right? That you dare to dream a little extra, no matter what piece of the agenda you're leading, because I think in our purpose and all that, we can all find, that big aspiration of building inspiring the developers and builders of tomorrow, but like bringing it home to whatever you're leading, to dare to be a little bold and be a little brave, because I think that is what really makes this workplace and this company unique, that everyone is daring to take it a step further.
We somehow landed on the 3 behaviors of what we call the leadership playground, which is helps to define our culture inside the Lego group. So the curiosity, bravery, and focus, I heard in a lot of the different things that you guys hit on. I also want to talk really quickly, because we've just got about a minute left. One word about how you are using play in your work, if at all. 1 or 2 words. Steen.
Growth. I use play to grow.
You use play to grow. Fantastic. Roxana.
Fun. Just to have fun and break the day.
Nice. Carol.
Use play to create, like put ourselves in a different situation and imagine things.
Oh, fantastic. Vinny, how are you playing?
problem solving would be how I use play. Yeah.
Excellent. I love it. And Johannes?
Get up from your chair and laugh with your colleagues every day.
Fantastic. That was a really great session. Thank you all for joining me today and for really giving everybody online a peek behind the bricks. That's all our time. So I just want to say thank you very much for joining us here in this Hugli home of the brick in Denmark. I'm sorry if we didn't get to all of your questions, but our amazing producers will continue to look at those questions and they will answer them online afterwards. If you joined us late and you missed anything, don't worry because the session was recorded. There's a replay and you can watch that. And speaking of replays, our next stop on this head-spinning world tour of the LEGO Group is a spot that's very close to my heart, Beantown, the home of the oldest Major League Baseball stadium in America, and it is my favorite team, the Red Sox, playing there. So I want you to join me when I meet my colleagues from Boston next time on Live Behind the Bricks. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.